To become better at mission, I would say three things. I would say first, we've got to see God rightly. Um, Michael Reeves and Daniel Hames have recently written a book, God Shines Forth, and the whole point of the book is to say that until we see God rightly, until we see Him in His goodness and His glory, then mission will be a burden. And I agree. And so I would say, first, we need to see God rightly. If He's, again, a taskmaster who's just telling, hey, go share the gospel with people. Come on, go do my job. We're not going to delight in mission. We're not going to be very good at it. We may be like the Pharisees who traveled halfway around the world, Jesus said, in order to make converts twice the sons of hell. So I think the first step to becoming better at mission is to know God better. If we know how good and how kind and how beautiful God is, we're more likely to want to talk about Him. We're more likely to want to help people encounter Him. So seeing God better. I think the second thing I would say about our mission, how to be on mission better, if we want to use that word, is to know the Word better. Because men and women are converted. Faith comes by hearing the Word. And so we want to see God better and see how good He really is. And to do that, the primary place to see that is in the Word. I think the Word also gives us our mandate for what God is after in the world. And so when we're clear on that, we're able to come alongside of, or come really underneath what God's doing in the world and be a part of that. And God is calling men and women from every tribe, tongue, people, and nation to share in the fellowship that the Father, Son, and Spirit have always had. That's God's mission. He is redeeming humanity to commune with Himself. And so as we see Him more clearly, as we see in His Word more clearly what He's doing, what He's after, as we see in His Word the gospel that we proclaim so that men and women might be saved, the third thing is that we open our mouths. I think so often we're afraid we might say the wrong thing, and so we don't say anything. And I've found that even when I'm talking with someone and maybe they ask a difficult question, or perhaps they just have an argumentative spirit, one of the things that I often do in that moment is to just say, I'd love to look at God's Word with you. I'd love to explore God's Word with you. That's an interesting question. Thank you for asking that. Why don't we look at God's Word together about that? Can you meet for coffee this week? And so the point in those conversations isn't always that I know exactly the right thing to say, but that I am helping people move towards God's Word, helping people to hear God's Word. And so I can even say, I don't really know the answer to that, but I'm happy to look into it and would love to meet you for coffee next week to talk about it. So I would say we need to see God more clearly. That way we'll want to share Him. We need to know the Word more clearly to see what He's up to and to be able to proclaim the gospel more faithfully. And then to do it. The ministries that are seeing people come to Christ are the ministries sharing the gospel. And they may be using different tools, different, you say, presentations of the gospel, different ways of trying to share the good news. But what they're all seeing is the more that they share, the more people are coming to faith. And so we, like Paul said, we believe, and so we speak. So that would be my encouragement for how we can get better at being on mission with God.